Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Christopher Media, let's make some noise. Welcome to Beer Nuts, a weekly excursion into the world of craft beer, brought to you by MichiganBeerGuide.com. And now, here are the Beer Nuts.
It's show number 141. My name is Chris. I'm in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, and my last Untapped check-in was Dead and Buried by Foothills Brewing.
Hey everybody, Greg in Dearborn, Michigan. My last Untapped checked-in was Shake Zula Peach Cobbler from Turning Point Beer out of Dallas, Texas.
Hi, this is Steve from LA, and my last check-in was Dead Cowboy from Los Angeles Ale Works, red lager, and it was probably the best red lager I ever had. It was delicious.
JR here, and instead of Arizona, I am on the road in Coos Bay, Oregon, on the beautiful Oregon coast. And I am actually at Seven Devils Brewing Company in Coos Bay, and my last Untapped check-in was just moments ago when I finished my Chinook Red Ale, which was unbelievably good.
It's kind of like a 1/4 remote. JR is on site at a brew pub.
Amen, and I'm loving
And we're
it.
all jealous.
Yeah. Well, to me too special where he's at. He's in the Northwest.
And there are plenty of both libations and greenery abound up here. A lot of pine trees.
Well, yeah, it's Oregon. There's a lot of trees everywhere.
Amen. So what I would like to tell everybody is tonight's episode is on the beers of the Pacific Northwest to celebrate my visit up here. I'm actually here to visit my mother who lives in North Bend, just around the corner from Coos Bay. But of course, as a beer nut, we always find a local brewery, and tonight is no exception. I'm delighted to let our listeners know that Anders, the head brewer here at Seven Devils Brewing in Coos Bay, will be joining us shortly to talk about his brewery and some of his beers. But in the meantime, the rest of us are thirsty, and I think we're going to go east to west, at least until Anders arrives. So, anybody have a quote of the week? Probably not.
No, I don't think we do this time.
So, I have one that I'll just randomly throw out that I used to say all the time. It was drink for tomorrow we shall die, Shakespeare Macbeth, and drink for tomorrow we shall drink again, me. I'd rather drink tomorrow than die tomorrow.
Amen.
All right, so everything aside, let's just, as we always do, invite all our listeners, please, if possible, enjoy a beer with us, kick back, and we'll review a few beers of the Pacific Northwest. And I think we're going to start east to west, so that brings Chris, who is not on the road this week. He's in St. Clair Shores.
Yeah.
So you can kick it off, Chris.
Home
Start
base
us off, brother.
in the studio. Beers of the Northwest. Oh, man. Oh, this reminded me of I miss the Northwest. I used to go there for work. I had to go there for 2 years. I was lucky enough to go every other week. And it's one of the regions of the country where you can go to the gas station and there's just such a wide variety of beers. It would rival a lot of craft beer stores in other parts of the country. I'm going with a familiar favorite, at least for me, at least brewery. I've kind of dubbed this in my mind. These guys are kind of like Bells of the Northwest, as far if Deschutes is their founders, Rogue would be the Bells of the Northwest here. I am doing their out-of-line West Coast India Pale Ale. And read from the can, it says, at the very core of Rogue is the idea of getting out of line. That is to say, you don't need to follow the plan laid out in front of you. You don't have to fit in. You don't have to fit in, and you don't have to follow the crowd. Man, it's a silver can. Trying to read with this glare is fun. And you don't have to follow the crowd. We brew this IPA as a reminder that there is no limit when you have the courage to get out of line. It is 6.9 ABV. It is 66 IBUs. Poured it. I mean, it's a West Coast IPA. West Coast IPA. It is, it's almost orange. It's somewhere between, an amber and golden orange. You can see right through it, sticking your nose in it. I mean, the dankness is there, the citrus is there, the floral is there. I mean, I mean, I could tell this is going to be a home run. It's Rogue. I mean, it's nice lacing sticking to the glass, nice thick, creamy little head here. Oh man, oh that's good. Take another sip here, and yeah, coming right through again. You're getting that dank. I'm getting grapefruit. Getting the floral notes right on the back. Oh, this is good. I mean, this is right up. This is a home run. This is straight up the middle. Serve it up. Swing for the seats. This is a home run. And I'd expect nothing less from Rogue. I mean, everything they do is quality. I mean, we put them on the map was their Dead Guy Ale. They are the brewery that does have the beer made from another gentleman, from a strain of yeast, that was bred from, one of their head brewers' beards. No, that sounds weird. I don't think any of us have ever tried it. I'm not gonna, be that guy. But out of line from Rogue. Anything by Rogue, if you see it, it's good. Check them out. It's awesome. And let's see, Greg, going to you next.
Oh, all right.
I could just add one thing before we move on. Yesterday I was looking everywhere for a beer store, and it's kind of hard to find a beer store, surprisingly. But right next to my hotel, there's a Safeway. I go in, and there's like a football field worth of craft beer in the beer section.
That's Oregon.
And that was the first beer I saw was that Rogue. There was a huge stack of it, the same one. It's a Penguin on the can, right?
Yes. I mean, this is delicious.
Yep. And I'm glad I did, so you got to review it. Well, I'm going back and getting some before I leave there.
There you go. Stock up. All right, Greg.
All right, so I guess it's my turn then, all right? All right.
Yes,
cool.
sir.
Good beer on your part, Chris. So, sticking with, yours was Oregon and mine is sticking with Oregon. So I'm going out of Deschutes Brewing Company out of, where are they out of? Bend, Oregon.
Yes.
All right. So I guess that's just north of John there. And, this is their Little Squeezy Juicy Ale. This is, 5%, 40 IBUs. Plain, yellow can with little red stripes, white lettering, all that good stuff. So Deschutes makes some pretty good stuff. I've always been a big fan of their fresh squeezed IPA. So we will see how this stacks up towards it. So pours a yellowish, slight orange tint to it. Compact bubbles. Really a clear looking beer here. You can see right through it, no problem. Aroma on there is a lot of citrus to it. Got a nice sweetness to it as well. You get like a little bready malt. But it's really nice smelling brew. So just a quick thing, the hops in here are Nugget, Citra, Azacca, Eldorado, and Chinook. And it's got 2-row, Munich, C15, and Golden Naked Oats. So there you go. So we got the smell on it. Let's see what the taste comes out. Oh yeah, more of that same. Nice, light and crisp. Little hop presence to it. Get a little breadiness out of that. Nice sweetness as well. Very refreshing brew. Perfect summertime beer, as we're now all finally starting to experience some warm weather around here, which is very nice. And so this is a excellent sit out on the deck or porch or wherever, by the pool, however you want to do it. Enjoy a couple of these. They're super crushable. And this is really good. I definitely recommend anybody that is looking for an easy drinker to seek this Little Squeezy Juicy Ale out. This is good stuff from Deschutes. Always some good stuff. So where are we heading next? Going over to Steve, or we got John?
Well, I have I was at a local pub last night, had a Beer Pond Pale Ale. Deschutes is alive and well here, and then I looked at their list, and I seconded that with one of my all-time favorites from Deschutes, the Black Butte Porter, which I still think is one of the best porters made. So, Deschutes is in pretty wide distribution now, pretty readily available. As a result, it kind of gets overlooked because everybody wants the new latest and greatest. But these guys were, pioneers certainly one of the premier breweries in the Pacific Northwest, and the beers continue to shine. Obsidian Stout's another favorite for them. So great that you chose it to shoot Spear. Always one of my favorite PNW breweries. So,
yeah, my sister resides up in Oregon, and we took a trip and we were in Portland, and we visited the Deschutes Brewery up there, and yeah, there's also a selection of good stuff. Plus the restaurant up there is fabulous. The food there is fabulous. So if you get a chance to go in there and actually sit down and eat and have a couple of tastings, it's a good spot to go to.
It's on my bucket list to go visit those places, so that'd be definitely a seeker out for sure.
And with 1,400 miles to go to the south and the east, probably not going to happen for me. So I'm thinking so close yet so far. But that being said, all their beers are readily available here where I'm visiting, so I'm enjoying it. So let's go to LA. Steve V.
Okay, the beer I got today is probably the most Northwest Pacific of them all. It's White Out. It's a wit beer with Brett, and it's brewed from Anchorage Brewing Company. I know the description's kind of long, but it's very, very well written. I'd hate to pass up the chance to get this out here. So, unique to the north and feared by man and beast, the whiteout comes without warning. With quiet ferocity, how quickly this force erases the sensations and reduces any creature to its most basic elements. When enveloped in one, sight, sound, and even tactile sensations are ripped away as snowflakes is not, and swallow in sense of being, leaving one to cower, hunker down, and wait it out, hoping that it passes quickly or that the end is merciful. Of variable and undoubtedly duration, minutes seem like eternity in a whiteout. But when it eases and those final snowflakes drift in the blue sky, any survivor is changed. Suddenly, life is fuller and more robust. The thirst for new life can be slackened in many ways. Whiteout wit complements the experiences in both intensity and rewarding calm. The quiet delicacy of the light malts are like those vanishing flakes. Sorachi Ace hops contribute the lemony aroma and flavor, imparting additional life to the brew, reminding you of how good it is to be alive. Lemon peel, Indian coriander, and black peppercorns add the same invigorating zest whiteout survivors feel when stepping from the world of white. Triple fermentation, the long slumber in French Chardonnay barrels, and a shot of Brettanomyces provide an explosion of flavor when combined with other swirling, enticing elements. It's okay to stand up, shake it off, and feel alive. That's what Whiteout Wit is all about.
Wow, that's quite the novel on the back.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a big bottle.
All right.
Brettanomyces.
Brettanomyces, yeah.
Well, all I have to say is, as a Penn Stater, I'm all for any beer called Whiteout.
So,
go ahead.
So I opened it up, and like I says, the first thing you smell is that fermentation on them, that it spent time in that barrels. That's very strong with it. It's a very cloudy yellow color. The head on it was pretty good, but dissipates after a while. This beer is a 6.5%, so it's not too bad as far as going in there. The first sip, it's really dry as compared to most wit beers. At the end of it, though, you do taste that peppercorn. It lingers on your palate as it goes down. Very mild on the lemon part. So it's not very, you don't get that tartness from it. It's almost like it says, you really get the elements of that wine, of it sitting in those wine barrels. That's really, I think if you're a wine drinker and you wanted to switch over to beers, this would probably be a great, crossover for you. But, very good. Like I said, so peppercorns though, they really come out at the end of it and they hang around.
Sounds delicious. Sounds like you got your work cut out for you with that big bottle too. So.
Yeah, Things you do for your arts.
Very good. Sounds refreshing.
Well, happy about that whiteout, and that sounds like a beer that I have to have. So, I'll be looking for it. And Greg, you'll be happy to know the whiteout is against Michigan.
No, that's fine. That's right.
So, okay, I guess I'm the fourth horseman. I'm here at Seven Devils. We're waiting for Anders to come out and talk about his beers and his brewery. He's the head brewer here. But in the meantime, I've got a flight of 5 beers. Before I even go into those 5 beers, I'm going to briefly describe the one I'm having as my warm-up. I already had the Chinook Red, which is wonderful, and I'm going to have to ask Anders about this. On the description, it says that the Chinook hops that he uses are 100% salmon safe. So I'm wondering if there's maybe some hops that are not friendly to salmon, like I guess they drain in the river and maybe impact the salmon life. So we'll ask him about that. But the Chinook Red was very good. Nice red ale. But right now I'm drinking something I'm really enjoying. It's called the Black Clock Oak Porter. Dark in color. Upfront chocolate malt balances with a coffee finish and a tickle at the end that makes this beer go down smooth and easy. 5% ABV, a nice, easy drinking porter. It's delicious. I'm surprised it's not stronger. Really, really full flavored, full mouthfeel from the oats. It's brown to black. So it's pretty much a classic porter, but I really like the mouthfeel and the really nice flavor in this coffee chocolate. It's as solid as they come. So I was sitting here and I wanted to order something. I didn't know what to order, and I kind of panicked when the server came up, and I looked up on the wall. There's a big picture. It just says Black Clock Oak Porter, and I said, I'll have one of those. Turned out to be a home run. So as I wait for Anders, I got 5 beers in front of me in a flight. So I just had a little palate cleanser, sip of water. And the first beer in my flight, Seven Devils Brewing Company here in Coos Bay, is the seasonal offering, which the brewery spoke very highly of. It is a spruce tip beer. So it's South Slow Spruce Tip Pale Ale, brewed with spruce tips harvested locally by South Slow National Estuarine Research Reserve volunteers. This pale ale will transport you to the Misty Coast Range with a refreshing zing. 39 IBUs, 7% ABV. So it's got a nice, some bubbles coming in, nice carbonated, nice, like paper thin white foam head on it. The appearance is just slightly darker than straw. So nice mellow. Let's see what it tastes like. Not a whole lot on the aroma. I was expecting like a big pine tree, but a little bit of malt. Oh, but it's really. So it starts with a little sweetness, which I was expecting that big punch from mighty spruce. But at the beginning, you get a little bit of sweet malt, and then it goes into an ever so subtle spruce, not an overpowering, which is nice. But you can taste those blue spruce tips, and even more so on the second sip. Thank you. Oh, and I just got some order of local oysters delivered to me, fried oysters. That's nice. That just showed up in my day. A really nice little quaint tap room here. When I got here, the room I'm in had about 10 people. Now every seat is taken. There's a patio outside. There's another room to the left of the room I'm in. So 2 big rooms full of people. Yesterday I arrived here on a Tuesday. Showed up. I was going to check out the place and tell them I was going to record the episode here. They're closed Tuesdays, but that's the only day they're closed. So anyway, that's a little bit about the brewery. Coos Bay, a nice coastal town, beautiful area here.
How about a review of those oysters?
A little bit later. they're looking pretty hot. I just ordered them like 5 minutes ago, and they're here. Like but I'm very pleased with the spruce tip. It was not an overpowering. It was more of the spruce tips are a pleasant feature rather than an overpowering. I've had spruce tip beers that just knock you over, like one of those evergreen trees that you hang in your car, and this is not that. So kudos to the brewers on that one. Let me cleanse my palate. Beer number 2 here is the flagship, I'm told, of this brewery, the most coveted beer that they have. And it is the Groundswell IPA. So this one's a little darker in color. It's more of an amber gold. Also a nice, healthy, white foamy head on it. Great lacing. Just a little sampling glass. Everything's sticking to the glass, so I'm expecting a piney, resinous West Coast IPA here, so let's taste it. So first on the aroma, that's exactly what I'm getting. Sweet malt wine, so let's taste it. And I can see why this is the fan favorite. It might be the best beer I've had since I've been here. Dugout, just love this beer. It's got that sticky, resinous lime, that nice West Coast excitement. Love the color on it. Let's read the review, the description. But it's what you would expect to get up here in the Pacific Northwest. This is probably the quintessential PNW beer for this episode. Okay, this amber-hued IPA is bold and complex with hop flavors of tropical fruit, pine, and herbal spice. Its full malt body balances the subtle hop bitterness to create waves of flavor. 66 IBUs, 7.7% ABV. Guys, they have bombers of this, and I am buying some. This is. I was told when I came in that this was the beer they're known for, and now I know why.
He's tossing some in his luggage.
Absolutely. I don't need any luggage, man. I drove 1,400 miles. I can load up the trunk.
There you go.
I can put a pallet in. Wow, that is just fantastic. So good, I'm going to put some back and save for later because I know how good it is. And we still have the show must go on. All right, so it's time for a palate cleanser. Almost time for an oyster. After this one, I'm going to have an oyster. Stevie needs to know. It's a fried oyster, nice sauce with it.
I like my beer and I like my food.
Well, I have a feeling these are going to be pretty damn good.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Pro Extra is the Home Depot's free loyalty program built for pros. Members earn perks just for shopping, like new Pro Extra dollars or tool rental perks. Get exclusive benefits every day that save time and money. And here's an extra, $20 off your next in-store purchase of $200 or more, just for signing up. Want to save? Join Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Visit the Pro Desk in-store at homedepot.com/proextra for details.
A different future starts with you. That's why GoDaddy does more than help you find a name. You can create, sell, and get found online, so any small business can drive change or build an empire. We need a new generation of thinking. Your way of thinking. Start different at GoDaddy.com.
ChristopherMedia.net.
All right, so the next beer on my list is, this is kind of funny. It's a Trillium Imperial IPA. Not to be confused with the brand Trillium of Boston.
Oh.
It is not a Trillium branded beer, but the name of this beer is Trillium Imperial IPA. I wonder if it's a cease and desist somewhere here. I hope not, because this brewery is pretty small. But who knows? We're not going to go there. So, before I read the description, I'm going to give you my own description. I like to do that better. So, this one doesn't. This one actually looks less. It's lighter in color than the groundswell ones. It more resembles the spruce one in appearance. So it's somewhere between It's more golden than straw, so I'll say it's a golden color. So, but on the aroma, I'm getting really good tropical fruit, like some guava, mango. Yeah, really good tropical fruits there. Guava, mango, and orange. Oh man, the flavors there, man. This is everything I smelled times 5. Loaded with tropical. It's not as piney as the groundswell was. It's more of a, again, a tropical fruit fiesta here. Now, it is an Imperial IPA, so it's a little stronger. I'm not really getting too much booze, but it's noticeably stronger in every way because it's loaded with flavor. This is another one that I know Dugout would enjoy. So here's the description from their flyer. O Trillium, Forest Beauty. How long you wait for your heralds of spring. Buckets of Whirlpool hops led into this Imperial IPA, a fruity flavor with a bit of pine. 90 IBUs, 8.5% ABV. And you know what's deceiving is this, is it's a lighter in color, so I didn't expect this level of flavor, but man, it's really a winner. I still think I like the groundswell a little bit more because I like that West Coast, but this has a lot going on. Both of these are world class. So, yeah, one's 7.7, one's 8.5. They're both pretty strong beers. They both are unique in their own way and both fantastic.
It's one thing the Northwest does well. It's an IPA.
Okay, so I got 2 beers left, and they're both dark, so I think it's time for that oyster. So, diving into the oysters, let's do the description for the menu of the oysters. This might be a first. Food review on the beer nuts. I don't think we've ever done this. Local Coos Bay oysters, grown and harvested in Coos Bay. These are deep fried and served with our Tabasco aioli. Tabasco.
Oh my! Oh,
That. It was white. I didn't think it was Tabasco. Oh man, crunchy on the outside, tender on the inside. I don't know if you can hear me chewing, but
thankfully not.
wow, done to perfection. Crispy on the outside, nice golden, flaky.
Just like the ocean is supposed to taste like, right?
These are fantastic. I can't speak highly enough of those. So, going back to the Pacific Grounds, pair with this. I know oysters are supposed to pair with stout, so let's change that. All right, my next beer is, let's see, it is a stout. Oh, this is right. There was 2 stouts here. One was a traditional Irish stout, but I went for this one because it sounded a lot more interesting. It's called Symbiosis Big Stout. Our annual collaboration with Reach Break Brewing of Astoria, Oregon. This stout is secondarily fermented with organic white and black mission figs. It is smooth and decadent with delicious notes of dried fruit and tobacco. 9.4% ABV. Now that's a beer you pair with oysters. So, okay, there's a little bit of tan beige head that just sticks to the edge of the glass. It's not covering the top of it, but this is poured quite a bit in there. The aroma on this, I'm getting sweet malt, dried dark fruits, and leathery tobacco smell. This almost smells like more like an old ale or a quad than a stout. It's got a lot going on, and I'm really looking forward to tasting this. So let's just do it. Wow. And that's exactly, I would have thought this was like a Belgian double or a quad or something crazy like that. It's really, really complex. Raisins, figs, dark fruits, maybe a little bit of anise black licorice. But just layers and layers of different flavors here. So. Wow. Symbiosis Fig Stout. Really, really tasty, guys. Maybe ever so slightly sweet, like you would expect a double or wow. This really reminds me of the Belgian style, maybe because of the figs. But I don't know where you would classify it if you were going to review this on a BJCP scale. Frankly, I don't care. So it's a fantastic beer. So there we have that. What a great beer. It's the most complex beer of the night. And, wow, all these beers have been great in their own right. So I have saved a very special beer for last. I wouldn't disappoint on a grand finale, would I? But I am going to have another oyster for this one. Oysters and stuff. So if anybody ever gets to the southern Oregon coast, seek this brewery out. It's a hidden gem. Really the only brewery within like a 10 or 20 mile radius of me. And no reason to drive any further. This is a great place to come. So, anybody have any guess what the last beer might be? Or any clue on what it might be?
Another stout.
Yeah. Any other clues? How about barrel age?
I was going to guess an oyster stout, but that's okay.
That would have been a good guess.
Does it have coffee in it?
I'm actually going to need the Anders to be here because this is it just says on the menu, barrel-aged ale on nitro. I happen to remember, I think it's called Cold Break, and it is a nitro stout aged in rum barrels. So this is the one beer, probably because of nitro, that still has a nice healthy layer, about a third of a finger on top of this. And this was poured quite a bit ago. This whole flight. Very nice nitro. You get that nitro. It's nice creamy head on it. Really, really nice aroma. I can smell coffee for sure. I can smell chocolate for sure. Can't smell the rum, but I'm looking forward to tasting it. Oh man, this is fantastic. Now it tastes, the rum is very prevalent. Maybe for the better, this has warmed up a bit since it was originally poured. It's right at that optimal temperature to drink. Nice stout like this. Nice rum barrel aged stout. I'm tasting like some cocoa. I swear I'm getting a little coconut here. I don't know where that's coming from. It's part of it. Chocolate coconut. It almost tasted like a toasted coconut with some rum in it. It's absolutely a home run. Not sure if it's. I can rank it higher than Groundswell, but it's damn close. All right, so okay. I've now tasted 7 beers from Seven Devils. So how appropriate is that? And I'm turning into a devil, and my wife's going to love me when she picks me up in a few minutes. But we are pleased to have Anders here, the head brewer of Seven Devils. So thank you for joining Beer Nuts.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You are now a Beer Nut for life, by the way.
Yeah, good.
So you are hereby dubbed. So I just wanted to tell you how much of a great time I'm having here, and the oysters were phenomenal. And all the other Beer Nuts are jealous that I'm here and tasting oysters, and they can't do that. But of course, one of the classic pairing, stout and oysters. I enjoyed an oyster between both of the stouts. Enjoyed all the beers. I guess the groundswell lived up to the billing. Nice, tiny West Coast stout, or IPA, and the rum barrel stout is delicious.
Good to hear. Yeah.
And I don't want to discount the Imperial IPA also, the Trillium. Do you expect to cease and desist from that anytime soon?
Maybe. We'll see.
We don't talk about beers here, right? All right, so let me just ask you a few questions. I've tasted all these beers and they're great, but beyond the beers and the brewing, a little bit about your background.
I'm actually a marine biology major, and I went to school out in Charleston, about a 15-minute drive from the brewery. And after school, I was thinking about getting a PhD or a master's degree, and I took the GED and I studied heavily for it, and I figured I didn't need to study for the writing section. I was sadly mistaken. I absolutely failed the writing section. So I was at this a brief limbo where I needed a job, and I loved the area. I wanted to stay in the Coos Bay area. And there was a dishwashing position that opened up at the local brewery. So I figured, hey, I could wash dishes and have an extra pint here or there. So I started dishwashing, and Seven Devils also makes their own sodas. So there's a soda program, and I was dishwashing for about 6 months or so, and there was a position that opened to brew sodas for Seven Devils, and I leaped on that and absolutely enjoyed it. And from then, I've been working here for about 4.5-5 years, and I'm now the head brewer.
That's a fascinating story. Thanks for sharing. I used to teach in a brewing program.
Yeah.
And I always told people, do whatever you got to get. Just get in the door, be a cellarman, whatever you got to do, and then you learn things and the sky's the limit. Mm-hmm. Can you guys hear well, guys? Is the audio coming through?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yep.
So I love that story. I guess my next question would be, before we talk about the beers themselves, is what does Seven Devils Brewing mean to the Coos Bay community?
I would have to say it means a lot. There wasn't really a hub hangout in Seven Devils. I mean, it definitely brought a lot to the table in terms of its scene, its music, its open atmosphere, its outdoor seating. It's hard to find outdoor seating anywhere in Coos Bay. So it really became a hub for the community in Coos Bay, it being the only brewery for 30 minutes north and 30 minutes south. So,
well, I'm really glad you're here, and I'm glad I found you, and it's great to meet you, and thank you so much for taking the time to do that. So let's just talk about the beers I've had. The first one was, you pick up a spruce tip beer, you think you're going to get punched in the mouth with spruce tips. This was like a really nice, where it doesn't punch you in the mouth, it's more of a supporting flavor rather than something that's going to knock you down. Can you tell me about that beer?
So the spruce tip is one of my favorite beers that we brew seasonally. We brew it every year, and we brew it in conjunction with a local estuarine reserve. It's the South Sioux National Estuarine Reserve and Research Reserve, and $1 of every pint sold in-house goes to benefit that reserve, and this beer is selling quick. This is the fastest I've ever seen this beer sell, and part of it was the recipe. This year we got spruce tips that were far beyond, the freshness was absolutely incredible. For all the homebrewers out there that want to know a little tip on the addition of the spruce tips, we had the majority at 15 minutes, and then we hold off on, I would say, about probably 1/8 of the spruce tips, and we add that as a hop back during the runoff. And I really think that it's that last addition, that little kick, like on a 15-barrel system, we're using 5 pounds in the hop back. It goes a long way, and it really gives a nice aroma, and I think it does the spruce beer a lot of flavors.
Well, thanks for that, because a lot of us beer nuts are brewers too, and we'll take those tips to heart. No pun intended. So the next beer that I tasted, of course, is the legendary Groundswell.
Yeah, that's our flagship beer. It's a nice, dank, juicy, resinous Northwest IPA. We dry hop with Simcoe, Mosaic, and Cascade on that. A lot of Simcoe in this beer. And it's our number one seller, and there's a reason for that. It's a great beer. It's around I think like what 7% or so, 7+%.
Yeah, 7.7.
Yeah, it's very malty.
For 7 Devils.
Nice amount. Yeah.
But I told the guys I think this is the best beer I've had since I've been in Coos Bay.
Well, thank you.
My hat's off to you for saying that list.
It's really it's number one. Yeah.
So, and then another one of my favorites is this Trillium Imperial IPA. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the Trillium we brew every spring as a celebration of the spring. It gets really rainy and cold here on the coast. So at first, there's the mushroom season and people are out and about, but then by the end of February, it's pretty rainy, it's pretty cold, wet outside. So we brew this beer right around in May, March, for the blooming of the Trillium, the flower. And we change the recipe up every year for this beer. In the past, we've done a lot of late edition hops, and this year we decided to put more in the whirlpool. And I personally really like how this beer turned out, and it's held up too. Its flavor's held up really well.
Well, I like it too, and that's why it's gone. So, I had a choice between the Irish Stout and the Big Stout, and I had to go for something different. So this was fascinating, and so much complexity. It reminds me of a Belgian beer, like a quad or a double. Can you tell me a little bit about?
Yeah, so we brew our typical stout recipe, our base stout, and then we allow primary fermentation to reach completion, and then we add 270 pounds of dried black mission and white and golden figs into the beer. And these are dried figs, and it really is. It's really a fun beer to brew. Each fig we actually cut open, and you'd be surprised how many have like mold in them. It's probably about 1%. And we pull those and put those aside, and we just put the best figs in there. And it's a collaboration with a brewery up north in Astoria that I really recommend that you go to. Rich Break Brewing. Great brewery. And this is I think it's our 4th year that we've done this beer. We always brew it right around December for a February release. We try to time it up with Valentine's Day and the Dark Arts Festival up in Astoria.
Well, it's another fantastic one. I can't find fault with any of these beers. It's fantastic. But the grand finale here certainly didn't disappoint. Everybody knows, anybody that listens to our podcast regularly knows that I love my barrel-aged beers. Tell us about what's the Cole?
The Kolbank.
That's the one that wasn't on here, so I had to remember that. What's the name?
The Kolbank Stout. It's our
Old Bank.
Yeah.
Old Bank Stout.
The Kolbank is a slew off of Seven Devils, and this is our original stout recipe. At this point, this stout we use as a base for our barrels. And we have a local distiller here, just up the road on Seven Devils Road, actually, just south of here. And they brew a variety of rums and whiskeys, and it's been a pleasure to work with them and to use their barrels for our stouts. This one here is in a gold rum barrel, and it's aged for about 5 months. So I really like how gold rum works with the stout. It turns out to be a really good beer.
Is there coconut in this beer, or is that just all from the rum?
That's just the flavor.
I would swear there's coconut. This is so good.
Yeah. I think it might be the molasses from the rum.
It's fantastic. Everything I've had. I mean, black. I was like struggling to figure out when I was waiting. I saw that sign on the wall, Black Pot Porter. I love a nice full mouthfeel of the oats. Brewed some pale ales with those. That was a home run too. So kind of ironic. I didn't do it on purpose, but I had 7 beers from 7 hours. They were all fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time out to be inducted into the Beer Nuts fraternity.
Thank you, John,
for
the induction.
We will certainly be in touch, and look forward to spreading the word with your followers out there in social media and beer. Thanks so much, Anders.
Yeah, you're welcome, John.
Appreciate having you.
Yeah.
So that about wraps it up. My oysters are gone. I have a couple sips left. My wife will be here in 15 minutes. So, what do you guys think? Beers in the Pacific Northwest.
The fantastic, for at least on your end, it sounded great, and for all the rest of us, we all had some great offerings, and just another great part of our country that's offering great beers.
So, if anyone ever asked you to try an IPA and it's from a brewery in the Northwest, you say yes.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Yeah, that is what they do up there. But
all right, everybody. But I'll be Instagramming pictures of the beers that I've had, and a picture of the brewery here. Great tap room atmosphere, nice outdoor patio. One of the nicest occasions I've ever had. Certainly recording on our show, because it's pretty rare we get to record on location. What is this, like the third or fourth time? I think we did one from the Oak Cafe, but that wasn't even a brewery. So I guess any final comments before we go to Mexico City?
You can see those.
Go to Mexico City. Anders is like Mexico City. You can always say A&M.
You can see those pictures that JR is going to be posting at Beer Nuts Podcast on Instagram. Also, we are at Beer Nuts Podcast on Twitter. Show us what you're drinking there. You can always email us to beernutspodcast@christophermedia.net.
As they say in old Mexico City,
A-M-M. ChristopherMedia.net.
Our biggest storage event just got stronger. The Store More, Save More event going on now at the Home Depot. Get the exclusive 77-inch Husky welded I-beam steel shelving for just $179. It now holds up to 10,000 pounds. Plus, it's the only steel shelving with a full lifetime warranty. Find more Husky steel shelving online at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Limited time only. Event and dates vary by store. Claim based on 2,500 pounds per shelf when evenly distributed. See store for details.
Discovery Plus is the greatest collection of real-life entertainment on the planet. 55,000 episodes from networks like TLC, HGTV, and tons more. Woohoo! Discovery Plus. Stream now. Stream what you love.
ChristopherMedia.net.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for listening, and thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.